I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy...
Amidst the seemingly calm atmosphere in the paddock, the surprising news emerged that Toprack Razgatlioglu had quietly returned to the Sepang track in Malaysia to test Yamaha's V4 engine. This test was billed as a crucial stage in the development of Yamaha's major project for the 2026 season. But what surprised many was the way Toprack conducted the test, full of surprises and far beyond the engineers' expectations, even exceeding their own records. Since his arrival, the atmosphere had been different. Toprack is known for his boldness, aggression, and improvisation, but his performance this time truly captured the attention. Within just a few laps, Toprack pushed the bike to limits no other rider had ever reached in previous tests, leaving Yamaha technicians exchanging glances, as if in disbelief at the data displayed on the telemetry screens. What was most surprising was how Toprack was able to tame the wild nature of the V4 engine, which had previously been notoriously elusive for test riders. He was seen performing several unexpected maneuvers, super deep braking, extreme lean angles, and even the long slides typical of WSBK, all with near-perfect control. This is what left the entire Yamaha technical team speechless, as such a riding style should not be possible on a machine that is still in the early stages of development. Furthermore, Toprack's lap time was reportedly faster than Yamaha had expected, even approaching the race pace simulation they had targeted for the next 2 years. The team also acknowledged that Toprack's input opened up new perspectives in the bike's development, particularly regarding stability under braking and acceleration out of corners. Many in the paddock began to whisper that Toprack's presence at this private test could be a major sign that Yamaha's V4 project is maturing, and that his contribution could accelerate the process over the next few months. Many also called Toprack's actions today a game-changer for Yamaha, as his performance in Sepang was truly unexpected. This test surprised not only Yamaha, but also everyone who follows MotoGP technology developments. With his aggressive style and magic touch, Toprack once again proved that he is not just a fast rider. He is a rider capable of changing the direction of a major project in just one test session. And here's the complete news. Amidst the seemingly quiet and tranquil paddock, the big news suddenly emerged that Toprack Razgatlioglu was returning to the Sepang track to test the Yamaha V4 engine. The test was originally planned to be very private, with almost no leaks. However, as soon as rumors circulated of Toprack's sudden appearance, the atmosphere around Sepang immediately changed. More tense, more curious, more questionable. Many initially thought this session was just a regular warm-up, but within a short time, those assumptions were shattered. As soon as the Yamaha V4 bike emerged from the pit lane and Toprack began his first lap, the paddock was plunged into silence. Not only was the engine sound more aggressive, but Toprack's handling of the bike was far from what the technicians had anticipated. In the opening minutes, Toprack opened the throttle with an aggressiveness that conveyed complete confidence, even though this was a new prototype engine, which usually makes riders cautious. But it was here that the first surprise emerged. Toprack immediately recorded a top speed higher than the baseline data from the previous test, forcing Yamaha technicians to run to the monitors to confirm their readings were accurate. It didn't stop there. Toprack's series of maneuvers made even more people shake their heads. With his characteristic unpredictability, he demonstrated super deep braking that even official Yamaha test riders hadn't dared attempt before. Long, controlled slides, something he usually only does on a WSBK bike. Extreme bank angles in the fast Sepang corners that made some think he was going to crash. But no, he just accelerated even faster. Explosive acceleration out of corners that demonstrated his ability to adapt to the V4's completely different character from Yamaha's old inline 4. Yamaha engineers were seen repeatedly looking at each other as if to say, "This doesn't make sense." Even some technicians from rival teams who happened to be around to prepare for the next test were seen watching from a distance. Toprack seemed to be taking Yamaha's V4 engine to a level never before achieved, and all in a matter of laps, not hours. What caused even more commotion in the paddock was an internal report that Toprack had managed to beat Yamaha's predicted lap time simulation for next year, even though they were only in the middle stages of engine development. Telemetry data showed he was able to stabilize the bike's performance under hard braking, an area that had long been Yamaha's Achilles heel, and even provided new insights that the Japanese engineers hadn't considered. One insider said that Toprack's unexpected actions that day led two senior Yamaha engineers to change the development plan for the next session. Toprack's input was deemed too important to ignore, and could have accelerated the progress of the V4 project by several months. For many, this test was more than just a test. It was a glimpse into the moment a rider truly bonded with a new, untamed machine. And Toprack's ability to tame Yamaha's V4 performance led many analysts to believe he could be the key to Yamaha's resurgence, even before the 2026 MotoGP season began. Some around the paddock summed up their impressions with a single sentence that summed up the surprise of the day. Toprack did something even Yamaha themselves couldn't predict. He changed the direction of the project in just one test session. With such performance, it's no exaggeration to say that perhaps, just perhaps, the birth of a truly competitive Yamaha V4 engine could begin with a surprising test at Sepang with Toprack Razgatlioglu. MotoGP legend and keen KTM analyst, Danny Pedrosa, made a comment that immediately shocked the paddock. It wasn't about the new bike or the new 2026 regulations, but about one figure who had been in the spotlight from the start, Toprack Razgatlioglu. Pedrosa admitted he was surprised by how quickly Toprack had a tangible impact on Yamaha's project for the 2026 MotoGP season. For Pedrosa, Yamaha's developments in recent months weren't ordinary changes, but rather an evolutionary leap that came from the input of a rider who truly understood the bike's limits. Pedrosa explained that when Toprack arrived, he didn't just provide data, but aggressively forced Yamaha to change the way they developed the bike. From the braking system, to the slide control, to the engine character, everything now seemed more in tune with Toprack's notoriously brutal yet controlled riding style. In fact, Pedrosa said that Yamaha felt like it had found a new identity after a long period of losing its way. According to Pedrosa, this instant effect was clearly visible in several private test sessions conducted by Yamaha. Changes to the bodywork, braking stability, and even the way the bike accelerated out of corners were believed to be the result of Toprack's direct feedback. The former World SBK World Champion is known as a rider who can force the bike to move according to his will, not the other way around, a riding style that has inspired many engineers. One thing that really intrigues Pedrosa is how Toprack's WSBK riding style will translate to MotoGP in 2026. The new era of MotoGP, with its V4 engines, large aerodynamics, and electronic limitations, will be very different from WSBK. However, Pedrosa warns his rivals that Toprack's style, replete with ultra-late braking, aggressive slides, and extreme stop-and-turn techniques, could be a deadly weapon in MotoGP if Yamaha's bikes can keep up with his demands. Pedrosa asserted, "Toprack isn't just a fast rider. He's a phenomenon in understanding grip, controlling a bike that's starting to lose traction, and reading the limits before anyone else realizes it." He believes that adapting Toprack's WSBK style to MotoGP is not only possible, but could be the biggest surprise of the 2026 season. To make matters even more interesting, Yamaha currently appears to be giving Toprack complete freedom. This has been a rare occurrence in recent years, when Yamaha focused more on engine stability than on tailoring the rider's style. However, in the 2026 project, Yamaha appears to be truly opening the door to Toprack, allowing him to be the centerpiece of development. Pedrosa also warned that other riders should prepare for a never-before-seen version of Yamaha, a bike designed not for technical perfection, but rather to maximize the potential of a rider with an unconventional style like Toprack. This could potentially make Yamaha much more aggressive than other manufacturers currently locked in an aerodynamic war. Furthermore, Pedrosa believes Toprack has a unique ability to provide very detailed, straightforward, and direct feedback. This, he believes, is what makes Yamaha's progress feel instantaneous. Technical feedback, even of an extreme nature, is seen as a new energy within the Yamaha garage. With all these changes, Pedrosa concluded that the 2026 MotoGP season will be the stage for major surprises, especially since Toprack's presence will force a change.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease.